All right. Getting ready to stand by for starting audio. Turning mics off. Stay tuned for the Political Twist-Up Show, powered by the Metro Detroit Compassion Club. The show starts after this.
Are you looking for medical marijuana professionals in Michigan and do not know where to turn? Visit mmma.biz. For a directory listing of products and services, search through the medical marijuana businesses at mmma.biz. That's mmma.biz.
Political Twist-Up Show. Political Twist-Up Show. For the latest information. The Political Twist-Up Show. You need to know.
This is the Political Twist-Up Show. PoliticalTwistUp.com if you didn't know. Here to put you in the zone. Dealing with real issues, real relevant on the real radio.
Political Twist-Up Show. Political Twist-Up Show. Political Twist-Up Show.
You're cooling out with the Political Twist-Up Show.
Political Twist-Up Show. It's the Political Twist-Up Show.
I'm taking over my body, back in control of my shoddy. I bet a lot of me was lost, cheese and crossing eyes and dotted.
All right, rock and roll. We're on the air. Welcome to the Political Twist-Up Show. It is a beautiful Saturday in the Flint area and all across Michigan, as a matter of fact. I'm Steve Green, patient and caregiver. With us in the Iron Lab studio today is Ryan Bringold. Say hello, Ryan.
Hello, Ryan.
Wow, what happened to the music? Boy, that dies quick. I don't know. We are out here at Canna Camp today. Is there a way we can get France out here to maybe talk? Maybe he can tell us what's up with Canna Camp. I think that would be a good thing, don't you? We're in Flushing, Michigan today. Out along what is this? What road is this? Mount Morris Road. That's right. I keep thinking. I don't know why I'm thinking Bristol. That's because that's where the radio station's at, is on Bristol. Come on over, Mark, and say hello to people.
Hello to people.
Do we have is this thing gonna work? Probably not. This thing's not plugged in. Let's you're stepping on this. Good Lord. We need a mic over here, Ryan. I know we need a mic over here.
Plug it in.
I'm on the air.
Plug it in.
You plug it in. That's your job.
Fight nice, children.
Well, we're not fighting. We do this all the time. So we are out at Canna Camp. This is a great place. No, it's not off.
Yes, it is.
Oh, that's why. Oh, we had to plug directly in. That's why.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to fix this during the break. The mic setup, because it's all goofed up now. Anyway, this is what we do when we do live broadcasts. Sometimes the wires get crossed. There's only two of us that put this together every weekend when we come out and do these live on remote things, and so sometimes it's a little haywire getting running when you're out at a fresh location like this. But we're out in the country. You're gonna have to come over here and share this mic, Mark. Mark, yeah, whatever. Mark Sisko.
How is everybody today? It's a great day out here at Canna Camp. We're out here having our ice cream social today. Come on out for ice cream. It's $1 for adults, and all the kids are free. Money goes to the food bank out here.
The food bank does really well with they did. Ryan, they did were you at the Halloween party a couple years ago they had here at this location? Nope. They had a Halloween party. And I know they did a poker game. They do the chicken ass poker. Yep. And it's got the and the proceeds from the chicken poker go to the food bank as well. That's correct. I'm just looking for France. What happened to France? He's not available? Hiding? He's playing peekaboo. Everybody's, when it comes to the radio and the microphones, everybody gets a little shy. I don't know why. We've got this great venue out here. It's out in the country, and and there's it's wooded. There's trails, and looks like there's you got some water out here somewhere.
Oh yeah, there's a 20-foot deep pond.
A big pond with a rope. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out. I mean, I don't think I'm gonna get in there because I didn't bring no swim trunks. I didn't even bring a tent except for the one that comes with the radio show. You're doing some barbecuing out here?
Oh yeah.
That's gonna be badass. I'm looking forward. Can anybody? What's up with the camera? It looks like the camera's all smudgy. Is there a?
It must be the smoke out here.
No, there's no smoke. It does look like we're all smoky though. It looks that camera looks like it's got some butter on the lens or something.
Butter's good.
No, can you wipe it off? Yeah, wipe the camera. No, get a thing and wipe it, please. Can you? Like, can somebody give him something to wipe that thing with? Nobody can see what we're doing. Trying to
Get that man a handkerchief.
trying to show people the Canna Camp out here online, and all the effort for the cameras for naught because it's all. Look at it, it's horrible.
You need to use a lens cap.
It's got a closed lens thing on that lens cap. It automatically snaps shut. It's one of those fancy cameras for $1.97 or something. Anyway, we're hoping you'll get a chance to maybe partake in one of the Canna Camps this year. Is this the only one going on again this year? Are they going to do another one or no?
We're
Or
having one again We'll have one again in October, second weekend of. And we're supposed to have a few more rock bands out that weekend, maybe get a few old school rock bands out here. Tonight we have Chaos and Confusion playing.
they're going to be a band?
Oh, yes, at 8 o'clock tonight.
I don't know what happened to the we got audio issues for sure.
Left and no right.
It was fine before. Did we plug something new in? Because it wasn't doing that before. I don't get it. Today's been a cavalcade of fun with technical issues. Part of it was my fault, but it is what it is. Well, as long as we're people can still hear us, So on the program today, I really wanted to talk a little bit about. Are you going to come over here, Ryan? Are you going to play peekaboo over there? Are you going to just no, nothing?
Yeah, Mark there.
I know, but you don't.
This is your job.
Yeah, get over here, dude. Come on, you're on the air, dude. Really? Good God. He just thinks it's vacation time. Hang out in the corner and stare at everybody. Whatever. Ryan's getting all thready now. Oh, don't pick on me. Come on, Ryan.
You're not prepared. It irritates me.
I'm prepared fine. So look, we were talking about the business with the Detroit and the mayors.
Yes.
And the mayoral race.
Duggan.
Can you? I'm going to turn this up so you can. There.
Yeah, I'm a Duggan guy. What about it?
Did you're not a Detroiter though? You didn't vote, right?
No, I did not. But I did think about voting there. I've always thought about becoming a voter in Detroit using an address, and apparently, according to Charlie LaDuff, that actually is happening pretty regular in Detroit.
Oh, people are using addresses in Detroit and not living in Detroit, and they're voting there?
Absolutely. That's what they're crediting the overwhelming success of Mike Duggan's campaign. I don't buy that, but they definitely have made a connection.
Fox 2 in Detroit was talking about the voter booths out there, and that, there was a big thing on Let It Rip. Is that thing working? I think it is.
It may be working.
Hey, it is working.
There you go.
Power.
So the Let It Rip thing was interesting because they were talking about that kind of. There were 17,000 registered voters or something.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, I want to say it was 14, but 17 is probably more realistic.
I think it was 17,000 registered voters somewhere in that neighborhood, and then it was only 12 or 17 or 18 or 20% turnout.
17%, I think, was the turnout. That's why the number flip flopped. But yeah, it was a low turnout. Of course, it's Detroit.
Well, they were blowing it up about whether or not the resident vote counted. They're like, because it's the black-white thing. You got a white mayor and you got black people mostly that occupy the city.
Well, yeah, it's 98% African American.
Right, for sure.
However, I think anybody in their right mind just wants something done. People are sick of not having services, and they don't care if it's a white guy, an Indian guy. They just want it done, or an Indian woman, whatever. They want somebody that can take control of that city and provide the services that any city would provide.
Well, but any city, because Detroit's getting away with possibly getting rid of their pension obligations to their former city employees,
which is terrible. I want them to provide services. I'm not, that's a whole different subject that you're broaching with the pension.
No, we were saying all other cities, like other cities, and other cities are paying their pensions until Detroit gets away with this. They might follow suit. A lot of them are watching.
Well, it's going to just take Michigan's credit rating right down the tubes. I mean, Detroit is the biggest city in Michigan. You now have them going into a bankruptcy, and you're already seeing different communities, which Flint is one of them, having problems with their bonds. Their ratings have went down. Oakland County is a AAA plus, or the highest rating they can get, and Brooks Patterson is very fearful of what this is going to do.
Thanks, by the way, for cleaning that camera lens off. We can see each other now. You can actually see what we're doing.
I used my tool.
Well, put it away. So now, when you're going to do this mayor thing, and really this mayor thing is nothing counts anyways, because it's all being run by an emergency financial manager, a.k.a. Kevin Orr.
Yeah, well, everybody thinks, that Duggan or even Napoleon will come in and be able to reclaim the city at that point. They're hoping for a fast and expedient bankruptcy.
How do you think they're going to handle the decrim issue in Detroit and the medical marijuana issue in Detroit post-election? And maybe post-Orr?
I think it's maybe a little bit lower on the totem pole right now. Once Detroit's financial house is in order, then they're going to start looking at the marijuana laws.
They'll look at a whole bunch of other stuff,
yes.
But that'll be a whole bunch of other stuff will happen way before we get to the.
I think if you get Benny Napoleon, you're getting a cop, and cops are pretty much the same everywhere. They don't want to deal with the marijuana, and he's going to look at maybe trying to constrict use.
Is Benny anti-medical marijuana or just anti-marijuana?
He's a cop. I don't know. He's a cop. That's all I need to.
We should ask him, because
I mean them both on. Duggan and Benny.
I'd love to find out what both of their positions are on this subject, because it's a huge subject with the guys there.
I say we invite them on. That's the purpose of doing the show, and get them to say what they believe.
So I really want to get somebody from Canna Camp out here. We got a couple minutes left before we go to break. Actually, about a minute left before we go to break.
1 minute.
I'm hoping we can get somebody out here to explain what Canna Camp is, because if they don't really we have some activities, but what's the purpose of Canna Camp? You know what I mean? Is it just recreational? Is it informational? Is it all of the above? I mean, there is a purpose, and I know what the purpose is, but I want somebody to explain it.
All right. We will work on getting somebody.
So we're working on that. We'll get our wires uncrossed. They're always crossed at first, Ryan. It's usually my fault. Hey, I brought on the show. What are you going to do? Oh, don't be a smartass. I saw it coming. Okay, we'll be right back. More on the Political Twist-Up Show, live at Canna Camp from the Iron Lab studio, brought to you, powered by the Metro Detroit Compassion Club. We'll be right back. It's the Multimedia Digital Network. The Political Twist-Up Show.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
Are you looking for medical marijuana professionals in Michigan and do not know where to turn? Visit mmma.biz. For a directory listing of products and services, search through the medical marijuana businesses at mmma.biz. That's mmma.biz.
Get everything you need at Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers. It's summertime, and the best of what you need for indoor and outdoor gardening is at your local Hydrovision store, where your indoor gardening dreams come true outside too. Equipment and supplies, they got it. Nearby locations, they got it. And the friendly, helpful staff is full of answers to all your gardening needs. Hydrovision. Get great prices. Mention my name, Steve Green, for a special discount. Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers in Howell, Fenton, Richmond, Trenton, and Belleville, one near you, or go to myhydrovision.com.
Is marijuana harmful?
But people are still afraid of what pot can do to them.
One of the biggest myths about marijuana is that it's not addictive.
Or helpful?
She'd failed everything. Everything had been tried, except cannabis.
I'm a firm believer that marijuana has actually saved my son's life.
CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta cuts through the smoke on America's green rush.
It would be safe to say that marijuana is better than all those pills for you.
And journeys around the world to uncover the highs and lows of weed. Sunday night at 8.
The Political Twist Up Radio Show.
Welcome back. Are we there? No. What's going on? I thought I got unwired during the break. I didn't. I got all excited about Dr. Sanjay Gupta doing a special tomorrow at 8 o'clock. You know, I don't know if did you see the story about Sanjay Gupta?
I did.
You did? You did not. What's wrong? Oh yeah, I took him off, Ryan, because we were causing a problem. I turned the radio on in the car. We were causing a problem with audio. It was killing one of our channels.
Oh, you had me freaked out.
Wow, we're still really loud. Really loud. Okay, I'm backing it off. There. I hope that's a little better, studio. Boy, it's still really loud. Okay. So, Dr. Sanjay Gupta changed his position about medical marijuana.
Nice.
He had been one of these guys, like Kevin Sabet, or maybe even like Drew Pinsky, saying, no, marijuana is dangerous. People get addicted to it. We treat them for it. That model.
Right.
And Gupta was always, these guys that are doing medical marijuana, he called them malingerers. You know what a malingerer is? Somebody who feigns.
Yes.
Somebody who feigns. What is it? See, now I'm screwing it up.
Somebody that pretends interest but really hasn't researched their subject matter.
He's like, look, they just wanted to get high, and they're using the medical excuse to get high. That's what, this is what everybody thinks that is on the other side.
Right.
That has an opposite opinion about it. They're just doing that to get stoned. And Gupta has he said, look, I apologize. We've been, screwed over this for 70 years by the government. They've been misinforming people. And he didn't look deep enough. He didn't look hard enough. He did a year of research for this special that comes on tomorrow. I wish you would, please, if you've got CNN available at home, tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, I think it's an hour-and-a-half special. It's called Weed.
Nice. Put that on the DVR.
And it's all about him changing his subject. You'll hear a couple more promos about it during the show.
All right.
So please tune that in if you get a chance. I think I posted it on Facebook, and what I said was, finally, this is mainstream hard news.
Right on.
And
I think it's good. CNN's, everybody's going to watch that. I think
look,
everybody who's on Facebook, tell your friends about it. Get your Twitter out there. If we get everybody involved and everybody can watch it, that's good.
People have been way ahead of this for a long, long time. It's about time the government caught up with the rest of everybody else.
Right. So guess what?
What?
I went and found
chicken
somebody.
Butt? Oh.
Yeah. Can you say butt on the radio?
We can say chicken butt.
Oh. You just can't say.
Don't even go there.
I have 7 words that he won't let me say.
No, there's more than that. There's a lot more than that.
So anyways, I found Stacy. Stacy's kind of the info queen.
Stacy's standing behind us. Look at that.
Hey, look at her. She's probably putting bunny ears.
She does. She's got her tie-dye on.
So,
and it's
Stacey,
her Michigan normal
welcome
shirt.
To the Political Twist-Up Show. I'm going to have you talk with Steve here and tell us about Canna Camp.
Please do. I'm really curious. How do you answer this question for the everyday person? What's Canna Camp for? Why do people want to come to Canna Camp? You got to talk really close to the mic.
You want to come to Canna Camp to socialize and learn information about medical marijuana.
So it's a social event and
informational,
and a learning event.
Yes.
Where does the learning come in?
We have different vendors that are different information. They can explain different uses, maybe what different forms of.
So you're saying the learning comes in the socialization, or are there actual classes, or are there actual?
We've had classes,
seminars.
We've had a class at the last Canna Camp on how to make RSO,
which is Rick Simpson oil,
Yep.
which is a concentrate. And did you get any good reports from that? People understanding that they learned how to do it and they were able to successfully make it?
Yes.
Good. This is good. Do people talk politics here?
Yes,
because that's what we're doing.
Heated. Boy, when it comes to politics, it can get a little heated.
Politics and religion, it's always that way.
It all.
For sure. This is how many Canna Camps we've had here now?
This is the second one.
Second one this year.
This is Canna Camp without the BS in it.
So it's not Cannabis Camp.
Right.
It's Canna Camp
without the BS.
No BS. I like that. Now, whose idea was this? Is it now France owns the property here, right?
Yes.
And was this his idea?
I think between him, Mark Cisco, and Haas all put this together, correct?
Mark Cisco, Haas, and France. We got to like you guys. Yeah. Thank you for doing that for everybody. This area needed something like this. I mean, there's Uncle Pete up north does one up by Houghton Lake. And come on over, Mark, and tell us where there's another one. You can stay here. You can stay here, Stacey. So can you tell us where are there other Canna Camps? I know that there's the one in Houghton Lake.
Yep. That's where there is right now is the one in Houghton Lake and the one here. We'd like to have them all over the state. We need to get one in the UP. I was talking about possibly Tronic area in the UP for a venue.
Why doesn't you talk to Steve Sharp over in Jackson?
No, not as lately. I haven't seen.
He does an event Stoner Day on the Lake. He should turn that into a Canna Camp.
He could. Yes, all he'd have to do is get a hold of us, and we'll just blast it all over the internet. Get some bands there. Get some people there.
I don't know. Well, they are on the lake and they're pretty close to each other. I'm not sure how good the neighbors would be with the band.
It's loud at Canna Camp at night.
They could put the band out on the pontoon, though.
You could.
Yeah.
Need power.
Yeah, a bicycle, little generator.
Yeah.
Just squirrel it out. No. Excuse me. So, thank you for telling us about. I think the more of these we can get together, the better. It's good summer outdoor fun.
It's good education.
Good camaraderie.
For sure.
We always have the every year. We started doing the walk across the bridge at the end of the year, and of course we've got 420, which ends up being right around when they end up having the hash bash every year. So we got the beginning and the end, but in the middle, we need stuff like this. Outdoor.
Our 4th of July event was a great event. We had about 200 people come out for that. We had a good band that night too. Yeah, both nights.
Now, what are we doing for barbecue out here? I'm just curious.
Barbecue. Somebody's cooking. That'd be you.
Who's got the eats?
Actually, Adam from Hardcore is cooking tonight. He's going to be doing some kebabs in the back corner of the pond back here.
Some kebabs.
Some macaroni salad, potato salad, all that good stuff.
All the summer fun food. Gosh, it's been a while. I was supposed to go to a family reunion last week and didn't get out there. I had to do this every year. Those family reunions on the same day as the radio show. It doesn't work out. So I missed all that good food at the family reunion. It was just up the road at the Bicentennial Park over there in Grand Blanc.
Okay.
So yeah, and I don't live in the area, so I have to. I live like an hour away from here. I'm in the Detroit area.
Okay.
So anyway, when you guys organize this, how many people do you guys expect to be out here? Are you expecting a large turnout, or how are we getting people out here?
It's anywhere from 20 to 2,000. So it can vary. Like the last one, we probably had 200. This one, there's probably like 40 to 60 people here right now.
But we just started too.
Yeah.
Or did you guys start
yesterday?
Last night.
Yeah.
Did you have a bonfire?
Everybody has like little fires at their campsite. They walk around and visit each other.
I forgot about the camping. I didn't,
come camp for the night.
I wish I could do that kind of stuff.
We have a live band tonight at 8 o'clock. Chaos and Confusion playing
up here in the Mount Morris area. Actually, this is Flushing. Isn't this Flushing?
This is Flushing, yes, but it's right by Montrose.
Right. I got to give a shout out, by the way, to Colorblind, Codini, and Messy J. They're going to be tonight at the Kensington Grill. It's right there off I-96 at Milford Road. It's in the Walmart shopping plaza there. The Kensington Grill's a restaurant. They do our jingle for our show, and they're having a set out there. It's free, 18 and over, doors at 9. Just had to give them a shout out. I'm going to go out there, by the way, and check him out if I get an opportunity. We'll see you out there tonight, Colorblind and gang. Now, I'm just curious about the politics of this. What do the local people feel about this? Have you heard anything about any feedback?
Politics. You're at camp.
Well, I mean, I'm just talking about the local community. This is a hugely friendly area to medical marijuana.
Montrose is, but
well,
Yeah.
You're splitting hairs everywhere.
Yeah. Can't please everybody all the time.
Right.
No, but we can certainly kind of squeeze down the middle lane, can't we?
Yes.
I think that's where we'll be today. Do you guys get out of this area too much? I know Mark does. I see Mark all over.
I'm everywhere.
Yeah, I try to make it to some events with some conferences.
Are we going to do anything in Lansing this year? Is anything happening out there? There's no rallies out there this year. That's the one thing.
Tuesday in Jackson.
There's a rally Tuesday in Jackson.
No, I'm just saying Capitol rally. We do something at the Capitol every year. Usually it's protest oriented, but I don't know. I guess
they've had one.
Everybody's out of protesting because the legislators have spoken.
We're just not getting the people.
There's not enough. There's not enough to wrap around it right now. Everybody's still going well. In Michigan, there's more test cases to be done. I'm sorry, Mark.
Everybody's scared. With all these rulings, everybody's scared, and everybody's.
You're talking about the concentrates ruling.
The concentrates ruling,
the dispensary
rulings. Everybody wants to go back underground, and we just can't have that.
No, that's the last thing that's going to happen. I mean, really is. Close one down, 2 more are going to open up. That's the way it's going to be, guys. I mean, really, that's how you answer that question.
You have to answer that question.
I mean, this is how they did it with Prohibition. Blind pig goes down, 2 more pop open. Correct. I mean, this is how they won that war.
Yeah. Yep. I mean, it's our right.
Come on over, buddy. What's your name?
My name is Michael Lee Huffman.
Michael, thank you for coming over.
Micah with an A.
Micah, okay.
Yes,
Micah.
Yes, sir.
I gotcha. Micah, you wanted to say something.
Well, this is curing things. I've heard people sit there and say, "Well,
just remember this is a no. We can't use swear words. I'm just giving you a heads up. Sometimes they'll pop out. No, I got no dump button. Please don't. no swear words.
I try my hardest not to. Sir.
Okay.
Well, the truth of the matter is I've heard people sit there and say that I smoked weed and I had cancer. It never cured me, but yes, it does help this and this and this and this and this.
Okay.
Well, I'm sorry. They have not been educated to the science of weed now. We have learned to concentrate it.
Well, I mean, they learned to concentrate it a long time ago.
We use it in cures now.
They knew it was a cure in 74.
Yeah,
this is true.
We use it constantly for cures now. We've broke it down to where people have it, and they cure people. Instant pain relief. Joint instant pain relief.
Yeah.
Guaranteed.
No, I'm all about it. Look, I'm a patient and a caregiver, so I get it. I'm all about it. I mean, I wouldn't do this show if that wasn't the case. I'm not going to come on and talk about something I know nothing about, for sure.
Yes, sir.
Definitely an expert in this field.
But that's the point of it, though. We shouldn't be thinking about the public or anything like that, of what they're doing in their government. This is us as the people.
You're right.
It's us as a people, because we actually need a person told me, and it was the smartest thing I've heard from any youth so far when it comes to a political bracket. They sat there and said, if you smoked weed for 2 years, and you choose to keep smoking weed, there's a medical reason why you feel that's making you comfortable.
Well, no, I agree. I mean, people self-medicate all the time. People drink because they're self-medicating, even though that's probably not a good idea.
Now we find out we have cures for it. We can actually cure cancer. It's proven.
Well, it's been shown to happen. I don't know how proven it is. We got to put it through the proven parts. Pardon?
9 out of 13.
9 out of 13.
That's exactly what the guy last time was here sitting.
Oh, he said 9 out of 13 people are being cured?
9 out of 13 out of his own testing.
Oh, okay.
That's what we're doing. We're, as individuals, we're testing our own stuff because we have to, because the government puts.
Well, they're not going to let them do it.
They put that until this speech tomorrow. They put that restriction, saying that it's hazardous. whatever. It has its negatives.
Well, they're saying
And
saying it's a
negatives
dangerous, addictive drug that has no accepted medical value, and it's unsafe for use under a doctor's supervision. Those are the legs for classification for a Schedule I drug under the Controlled Substance Act.
Okay.
So, but you're right. I agree that it is not, number one, an addictive substance. It could be you could be psychologically addicted to anything. But as far as a physical addiction, I don't believe there is one with cannabis. At least I don't have. I don't believe I have a physical addiction.
I know if I wanted to quit smoking weed, I would.
Right.
I have for jobs plenty of times because you have to.
Right. I'm just saying there's no physical addiction. It's not something that's ever going to kill you. There's been and this is one of the things that Sanjay Gupta was talking about. No recorded overdoses or deaths ever in the history of the world with cannabis.
We had a guy last night. We had a guy last night, and it was we laughed about it. I sat there and said, "Yep, that's the worst thing that's going to happen from smoking."
What?
This guy sat down at the base of a tree, and we found out later he drank before he got here. And
oh yeah, if you consume too much cannabis, you're going to go to sleep for sure.
Yeah,
you're just going to nod off.
He just crouched under a tree and fell asleep, and we just continued sitting around the bonfire and enjoyed our stuff. He woke up and
especially if you've got a good indica, it's going to put you out. It's just going to happen. I think I'll watch this movie and smoke this. That's how it works.
Well, that's the point of it medical. We have to, smoke the better.
There are, people do self-medicate, and this has always been, I believe, kind of a self-medicating thing. I mean, this is why people have anxiety. They have other issues that marijuana tends to deal with in a way that is beneficial or that has some relief from the
and there's
complaint
thousands of
of
ways
issue.
of doing it besides smoking it.
Oh, for sure.
That's for real. Eating it. I mean, my tea, wherever, I guess it's gone.
You got some Canna tea?
Yeah, you can have Canna tea. You can have any, you can have it in anything. We had burritos. We've had.
Yeah. Well, that's the great thing about concentrates. You can add it's an oil-based substance, and so it melts into anything fatty.
I heard a problem though. Honestly, I did hear a problem. A patient has to have the oil base. That's the only way they take they take it. They have to have an oil base for their pain relief. And honestly, to do an oil base, your 12 plants ain't gonna do it.
Well, boy, there's a lot of questions you got to ask about that. Number one, what kind of concentrate are you making? Number two, how big are you growing your plants? I mean, but
what yeah, but 12 plants still wouldn't be enough until not starting off. You have to be with the caregiver at least a year or two before he can produce that much for you.
So we're going to go to break here. We're going to come back to Canna Camp and talk some more about Canna Camp and the politics of cannabis. We are live in the Iron Lab studio on location at Canna Camp in Flushing. We'll be right back. It's the Multimedia Digital Network. This is the Political Twist-Up Show on 1470 WFNT.
The Political Twist-Up Show. Is marijuana harmful?
But people are still afraid of what pot can do to them.
One of the biggest myths about marijuana is that it's not addictive.
Or helpful?
She'd failed everything. Everything had been tried, except cannabis.
I'm a firm believer that marijuana has actually saved my son's life.
CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta cuts through the smoke on America's green rush.
It would be safe to say that marijuana is better than all those pills for you.
And journeys around the world to uncover the highs and lows of weed. Sunday night at 8.
If you or someone you know received a traffic ticket, has been charged with a misdemeanor, drinking and driving, criminal offense, or has had their driver's license taken away, they need an attorney. They need attorney Glenn McCandless. He's helped hundreds of people solve their legal problems over the past 16 years.
My law firm is dedicated to providing quality legal services at affordable rates.
Call us at 586-755-2900. Again, that's 586-755-2900. Call now.
Are you looking for medical marijuana professionals in Michigan and do not know where to turn? Visit mmma.biz. For a directory listing of products and services, search through the medical marijuana businesses at mmma.biz. That's mmma.biz.
The Political Twist-Up Radio Show.
Okay, we're back. You know, I'm really super excited about that Gupta special. I can't get it out of my head. This is big news. It's bigger than probably anything we've ever done on this show, honestly.
Well,
from a national standpoint, it's huge freaking news, really.
Well, now you have scientists that are actually coming out and telling the truth.
Well, the problem has always been it's easy for the government to keep this confused as an issue by pushing the propaganda of their agenda, which really is a business agenda. I mean, the only reason cannabis was made, illegal in the first place, or there was a prohibition put on it, was all about money. It was all about propping up industry. The same thing. Okay, they do with in the 50s we had the Cuban crisis, right?
Yep.
Well, that was in the 60s. But yeah, the Bay of Pigs, and then the Cuban Missile Crisis, and then the presidential shooting right afterwards.
Coup d'etat.
And this whole business caused us to say, well, we're not going to do, a lot of sanctions on Cuba.
Right.
And one of them is a trade embargo.
That's right.
And when we did the trade embargo,
trade and travel.
Guess where most of our sugar came from?
Cuba.
Mexico? It came from Cuba.
I was going to say that.
And you're right. And our cigars.
Not anymore.
And some Lucille Ball husbands.
Ooh,
But anyway,
Ricky,
you got some explaining to do. So, what I'm saying is, they when they had the sugar embargo, the food industry here said, "Whoa, wait a minute, where are we going to get our sugar from?"
That's right.
You know what Congress did? You know what the answer was?
Let a sugar go through.
Well, first off, what did they annex in the 50s? I mean, Hawaii. Hello. That's one of the things they did. And then, we were getting a lot of sugar from Hawaii anyways, but they decided to annex Hawaii. Anyways, so then we also got an answer from Congress about the sugar issue by propping up the farm industry with corn syrup.
There you go. That's
so what they did was they said, okay, everybody who makes corn sugar-based food products, it's subsidized. The government subsidizes it. So it makes it cheap enough to be equal to sugar.
That's right.
And so they've done this ever since the 50s. The government's been subsidizing the sugar industry with corn syrup. That's why you get corn syrup in your flavored pop.
I drink gallons a day
instead of sugar.
Yeah.
So they did the same thing with marijuana, but under different terms. What they did was they said, okay, number one, we got a political reason to. There's some populations that they were trying to oppress. Basically foreign populations or oppressed
Latino
populations.
Community.
Latino and African American communities were being oppressed at the time, and they still are, and to some degree.
Yes.
And the thing with that started this were people like Hearst.
Yes.
Hearst had huge, first off, he ran the big papers back then.
Well,
He
that's
was the
what
big,
it was about.
big newspaper magnate.
Wood over hemp.
Well, he had huge interest in the lumber industry as a result of his pulp and paper printing.
That's right.
And, he didn't want cannabis to be interfering with his lumber stocks. And this wasn't just him. There was a whole group of people that approached Harry Anslinger, who was the guy that made this, turned it from the Stamp Act into a prohibition.
That's right.
And it was ever since then that the drug war's been ramped up, and it's always been over a financial thing. People like DuPont and the oil industry, they would have never made rayon and nylon. These markets would have never been favorable for them to R&D these things out of the plastics industry, out of the oil industry, unless cannabis was off the market as something to compete with.
That's right.
Because it was a cheaper, more readily available anywhere solution. And the same thing with the oil, and if you got Rockefeller selling oil to people in home lamps, because that's what he did. He was a kerosene seller.
That's right.
And if you got cannabis oil as an alternate to they used a lot of whale fat back then.
Right.
If you got cannabis oil as an alternate, a cheap alternate, available, ready source available, then nobody's going to make any money on kerosene, distilling kerosene, because you got to pump that. It's really expensive to do all that.
Right.
Rockefeller knew what he was doing. And he was one of the principal guys, along with all the rest that I mentioned, that came after people like Harry Anslinger to get this thing buttoned down so that it wasn't interfering with their marketplace. And I'm sorry, but you don't make people a victim of a war, because this is a war against people, not a drug war.
We love war.
The drugs don't go to jail. People do.
Right.
And anytime you ramp that thing up, it's bad. It's a bad social policy. It's bad for your people. It's bad for government. It's bad for finances. It's bad, bad, bad.
It doesn't work. Plain and simple. The stats prove it over and over again. It doesn't work. We jail more kids in this country, more adults in this country than any other country in the world. We're a police state, for God's sakes. So, it's all over marijuana and stupid little misdemeanor crimes.
Well, it's they've made an industry out of the drug war, and the industry wants to protect itself just like any other industry does. It wants to keep itself alive.
Well,
it's just
government budgets. The military wants more. The DEA wants more.
Well, look, it's just you just hit the nail on the head. Anytime the Pentagon says we don't want this and we don't want this and we don't want this, and you got Congress passing laws that say, okay, we're going to build this stuff anyways because hey, that's in our home district and we don't want to lay anybody off there. Or those guys got jobs and pensions and kids sending to college, and we can't interrupt that.
The contractors that work for Northrop and the different companies. We have a war now, on the Mexican border. We're going to build a wall that we don't need. We got drones flying up and down that we don't need. The Mexican population's here. They're not coming now. It's not that sweet to be here anymore. So, it's not a big deal, but you can have people out of work, so we're going to prop up those departments.
I'm just so glad that now... See, people pay it. First off, let me just give you a little background on the Sanjay Gupta thing. He went to school in Ann Arbor. He's an Ann Arbor guy. He went to University of Michigan.
So he's probably been to a hash bash or two.
He's familiar with it. But again, it's always hash bash is not about medical anything. Hash bash is about celebrating the freedom of cannabis.
That's right.
And celebrating cannabis as a whole because it deserves some celebration, frankly.
Absolutely.
That. There's a big division out there. So, anyways, you got Sanjay Gupta, now a CNN correspondent since like 2000, 2001.
Yeah, I think it was after the
right around 9/11 that he came on board.
That's right.
And people pay a lot of attention to him. He's a neurosurgeon, for crying out loud. I mean, do you know how much you got to study and ace out to become a neurosurgeon?
Oh yeah. Book smarts doesn't always guarantee common sense, though.
No, but I'm saying people pay attention to him because he's an educated man. He's also a television reporter, anchor, and now he's done this special and the only reason he did the special is after he did the research and really dug into it because people were objecting. They're like, no, Sanjay, you got this wrong. Why don't you look a little deeper instead of just playing it off the sleeve,
Well, he was just going with the traditional.
We can't hear you.
I'm sorry. That's exactly what he's saying, though. He sat there and did a year. That's all it took him to prove what? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 years?
70 years.
70 years? Yeah, all the way down to 70
So, I'm excited about this because the people like Sanjay will, or Dr. Gupta, I'll say, will
he'll crack into a demographic
that's
that maybe
right.
we can't.
He will address people that will listen to him where they will not listen to this crowd or anybody associated with this crowd. And that's important to me. That's important to me because we've been out here, at least in this state, we've been out here for 3 years.
We're immune. They see us every day.
I'm on a. I'm sorry. It's okay. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to, you got on a mic. Nobody can hear you until you're on a mic. But thank you for agreeing, though. This business, people are going to listen to him. People are going to
absolutely
pay attention, and there are doctors that are going to follow suit. There are some impressions that are going to be made by this thing. It's huge. I can't tell you how big this is. Honestly, I don't know what could be bigger right now.
8 o'clock Eastern
It's tomorrow
time.
at 8 o'clock.
CNN.
It's just one little event, but it's the idea that this is a mainstream doctor who has nothing to do. He's got no incentive. He's just going out as a reporter.
Cannabis.
He's just going out as a reporter, and his reporting actually changed his position on the subject. And I find that, number one, enthralling. I find that exciting. I find that amazing because most people don't have the cojones to stand up and admit it once they figure it out.
Well, true scientists are in the search of truth. That's
Correct.
what science is about. So all that does is give them more credibility overall.
I wish the law was more like science.
The law bends to the will of the people.
No, it really doesn't. The law is manipulated
it's powerless to help you.
The law is manipulated by experts. That's really what it is.
And they love to punish you.
It's just what bother. What? Go ahead.
They get paid to punish you.
Well, they do, and that's there's an incentive there. I get paid to harangue you, and so Where's my haranguing money? Give me some harangue money.
That's right.
Wait a minute, you. No, you. No, we need some more. Get them in here.
Yeah, we have some friends going through that right now. Shout out to our Bazanzo friends.
Because, just in America, juries and, a jurist is supposed to be, the trier of fact is supposed to be a seeker of truth.
That's right.
And if you're seeking out the truth, but at one point you're hiding information so that it can't be considered in the final decision, is that really seeking truth? Is it?
No, it's lining your pockets of your friends, family, and yourself.
No, I mean, even if it's not. I mean, civil cases like this, there's all kinds of stuff happens. There's tremendous miscarriages of justice because people were able to manipulate the system rather than find the truth. And that really bugs me. It's not, it's an age-old.
It's not the way it should be, for sure, but we deal with it all the time.
Well, I just think that if you're going to be like that, you should take the blindfold off the lady. You know what I mean? The lady that's got the scales of justice.
She's
lady.
Justice.
Justice is supposed to be blind.
She is blind,
but she's not.
Well,
she only sees where somebody tells her to look.
Well, I always have said you get the justice you pay for.
Because you could be in a pond, but if you're in a pond on a boat, she doesn't see the water. She just sees the boat.
Well, like I said, you get the justice you pay for. I know from personal experiences. I've walked in with lawyers for court cases, and I've walked in without lawyers. You always do better with.
You're correct. Money changes everything in a court case, whether it's civil or criminal. The outcome will be hugely different when you eject money. And that's my basic fundamental problem. That's the problem. Right. That's the corruptive effect is money, cash. Because if there was no cash involved, justice would be blind.
That's right.
But we have people that fight for interracial relationships, and nobody's standing up and fighting for the right to smoke weed. Come on, closet smokers, get out the closet and stand up, please.
Well, it's not just closet smokers. I mean, there's a crap ton of closet smokers. I mean, I would say the vast majority of the smokers are all closet guys. I'll tell you what. When I went out to Bazanzo's and took that picture that I posted when they did the raid in Bazanzo's in Walled Lake 2
weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple weeks ago. When I went out there was a guy out there in a truck. And it looked like he didn't know the place had been raided.
Right.
And he went in there, and he came back, and I was in the process of trying to take a picture, but he threatened me. I'm like, look, I didn't take your picture. I'll show you. And he's like, look, Mr. Reporter, I'll run your truck over. I'll run you over. And he sped off. Come on, Canna people, get with it.
We're not hurting you. We're helping
Idiots.
you.
More on the Multimedia Digital Network on the Political Twist-Up Show. We're live from the Iron Lab studio. Next on the Political Twist-Up Show, LJ from Advanced Nutrients. Can we get him on? We'll try. The Political Twist-Up Show.
Well, this formula is specifically to grow cannabis.
That's Ray Kogo for Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Now, everybody knows that large buds and tight buds come from genetics, and then the amount of light you use. The other part is having the correct nutrients that the plant's going to use. Mine specifically to grow cannabis, so it's going to get everything that it needs.
Ray knows what you may not. Those nutrient companies you can get in most grow shops are not cannabis specific. That means they take the stuff out of the bloom that your plant needs in bloom. You can get Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients too. It's just 2 1-gallon jugs that make over 600 gallons of nutrients, all for less than $100. See the difference for yourself.
More trichomes, bigger buds, faster growth, and for less money.
Go to CANNABISformula.com or call Ray direct at 517-375-8998. That's 517-375-8998. Kogo's Original Cannabis Formula Nutrients.
Get everything you need at Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers. It's summertime, and the best of what you need for indoor and outdoor gardening is at your local Hydrovision store, where your indoor gardening dreams come true outside too. Equipment and supplies, they got it. Nearby locations, they got it. And the friendly, helpful staff is full of answers to all your gardening needs. Hydrovision. Get great prices. Mention my name, Steve Green, for a special discount. Hydrovision Indoor Gardening Centers in Howell, Fenton, Richmond, Trenton, and Belleville, one near you, or go to myhydrovision.com.
Is marijuana harmful?
But people are still afraid of what pot can do to them.
One of the biggest myths about marijuana is that it's not addictive.
Or helpful?
She'd failed everything. Everything had been tried, except cannabis.
I'm a firm believer that marijuana has actually saved my son's life.
CNN's Dr. Sanjay Gupta cuts through the smoke on America's green rush.
It would be safe to say that marijuana is better than all those pills for you.
And journeys around the world to uncover the highs and lows of weed. Sunday night at 8.
Political Twist Up radio show.
Okay, you can find us on the radio every Saturday from 3 until 4 o'clock. You can also find us on the radio at politicaltwistup.com. It is the Political Twist Up Show. We try and get out to all the public events when they're available. We got events happening in the cannabis community and in other places. You know, we did the auto show. We tried to do the Balloon Fest, didn't we, Ryan? They kicked us out of the Balloon Fest. That's an howl. Hey, they did not like us at the Balloon Fest. They were like, look, the pot people got to go. So we're trying to get LJ on the radio. We got him?
Got him.
Go ahead and put LJ.
We got him.
LJ on. LJ, how you doing, brother?
Never had it so good, brother. Dude, I am loving the show. Loving what you guys are talking about today. Super stoked. And I got nutrients coming for you. You never hit me back in Skype. I need your address.
Oh, crap. I didn't even know. I didn't even see.
Give your address out on the air.
LJ. What's that?
Are we on air?
Yeah, we're on.
Oh, hey.
Sorry, I didn't know you didn't know.
No, I didn't know that we were on yet, but hey, what's going on, man?
We're
Everything you guys are talking about, that CNN thing was awesome, dude.
Yo, dude, the Sanjay Guptas special thing is huge. I mean, it's big news. I think people are going to underestimate how big that story is.
I walked into a hydro store this week, just walked into the store, and they just, dude, you got to see this, and drug me into the back. I mean, the day it came out, and I mean, normally the guys at the hydro store aren't, racing to check out CNN. It was
exactly. You don't see the hydro stores playing the news, the all 24-hour news network.
Yeah, you know what I mean? But they were all passing around this. It's had a major impact, dude, to everybody, and it takes that. It takes people finally, you're right, the Hearst of the world should it was all politically motivated when they did that. Just take it away from the people.
It was all about money. It was all about protect my industry.
Always is.
And then the police got their angle in on it, and they had their own industry made out of it for them, mostly by President Reagan. Thank you, Mr. Reagan.
Just say no.
They got to justify the budget every year, so it's like, well, we don't want to lose any money or fire anybody, so let's just create more stuff for them to do,
Hey,
go after all the medical.
I got to point this out because I think people don't see it, and I don't know if I'm the only one that tied this, connected the dots, but everybody's on Obama, and rightly so, for cracking down on the medical cannabis community, especially since he at least said at the beginning of his administration he wasn't going to do that.
Only because he said he wouldn't, and
right.
Send out that big memorandum all through, like, hey guys, back off. There was this Garden Grove, a city by me. They spent $250,000 prosecuting a guy over a gram of hash. Lost, had to give him his hash back. So they spent $250,000 plus $40 for the hash. I'm like, and why? Why? How would, we couldn't have fed some people with that, taking care of some kids, maybe some education.
Right, but for crying out loud, don't give those people health care. Don't do that.
Heck no, they're citizens.
So, look, I just wanted to point out this. Obama's biggest problem when he got into office, and still is his biggest problem, what is it? The economy, stupid. It's the economy.
I thought you were going to say he's a black guy.
No. And so that's his number one chief nemesis is the economy. And I think when you understand how big the industry is that imprisons people, that cranks them through that's a system that needs to be fed. If it's not fed, it starves, and there are people attached. So I'm saying it's such a large part of the economy, this privatized prison industry thing, this
Oh, it's disgusting, the privatized prisons. Yeah, way to go.
Well, when it's such a large part of the economy now that, and it's so contractually heavy inside of city and federal budgets, that if he actually did what he said he was going to do, it was going to hurt the economy, dude. It was going to hurt the economy. Seriously. If he literally pulled back all those federal dollars and stopped cracking down on, that's why he ramped it up, because the economy was in such crappy shape. You get to hire more prison guards. You get to hire more people. You get to keep those courts open. The courts were all suffering when the tax money disappeared. So I'm just.
If they would just legalize, you know how many jobs would be created?
I know.
Taxable revenue and taxes across. I mean, it's retarded. They have a
Ask Denver.
monster income stream at their disposal that they choose to ignore.
Ask Colorado. They know.
Right?
I'm just saying. Some people have to step back and look at what the president can say and what he can't say. And I think after the president's gone, he'll explain to you, I would have backed off the pot thing, but it was going to crush our economy some more, and I couldn't do it. I think you're going to hear that.
If you would just regulate it would add huge numbers to the economy.
Right, but he wasn't. I'm just saying in a larger sense. In a larger sense, you're right. I agree. But in a larger sense, he didn't have that capacity in hand. He's got too many other things to deal with. All he could do is continue to raid, not raid. And if he stopped raiding, the economy takes a hit. That's a no in his book. That's all I'm saying. Just take a step back and understand what really is going on here. Because in his heart of hearts, I know Obama doesn't want to pick on the pot people, even the non-cannabis pot people. The non-medical cannabis people.
I mean, from the time he started running that I'm going to take public funding, no, I'm not. And just everything, it's from the beginning. It's been nonstop. So, yeah, I'm not real shocked that he flip-flopped on this as well.
So, listen, LJ, we got about 4 minutes in the show, and we started about a minute and a half, 2 minutes late. So, as a result, the close of the show isn't going to play, and I just don't want to be talking on the radio when the show actually goes on.
We're going to have LJ on for political commentary.
Okay. Well, no. We've never had LJ on to talk politics before. It's always been Ask the Gardener.
I like the West Coast connection.
I love this plant, man. It's so... I told you a couple weeks ago, I've never felt so close to God as I do when I grow a plant. I'm assisting life in its most basic form, dude, and it feels clean and loving and good to me. There's none of this, like, heroin type of feeling that I got going on, you know what I mean? Like that. I don't feel like I'm involved in something icky. You know,
I also, I actually apologized to the plant before I cut it down. I'm like, oh, I'm sorry. I'm really sorry. I know I wanted you to get big and strong, but you got big and strong, and so now I need you. Come here.
I don't apologize. I say you're going to a better place, and I love you.
Right.
Yeah. Right on. Well, guys, I got the Fab 4-pack coming out soon. You guys got to check it out. It's going to be hitting shelves in the next couple weeks. Booty juice, tarantula, piranha, and bud candy. It is incredible, explosive root growth, and I'm going to probably get you guys to out with some of that, and I'm going to send you some hobbyist bundles or something to give away on the air as well.
That'll be awesome. That'll be great.
I want to get the community some stuff.
Maybe we'll turn Ask the Gardener into Stump the Gardener and see if we can stump the gardener, and then maybe
there
win a
you
prize.
Go. I love that.
I don't pretend to know everything, man.
he's like, don't do that. We'll give away the farm.
I can't afford it.
Right? You guys will come out with some like super. Yeah, I don't want to fail on air.
LJ, I gotta get off the air here because we only got about a minute and a half left, if that.
Well, listen, call me up later on about the other stuff, guys. It is such a pleasure to be on your show. I absolutely love everything you talk about. Keep going, man. It's guys like you winning this fight.
And if you want to get some advanced nutrients, check things out at advancednutrients.com.
Thank you, LJ.
Thank you, gentlemen. Talk to you later.
I'll give you a call right after the show. All right.
Hey, guys.
It's kind of weird because I got the car audio playing in the background. It's one of the, we're not usually in an area where we can actually hear the signal.
Nope. we are at the Canna Camp. We're on Mount Morris Road. It's 8338 Mount Morris Road. They're having a 50-50 out here.
50-50 raffle?
Yep. And they are also doing barbecue, and there's a band out here tonight.
Having a band, 8 o'clock, he said.
There you go. So get your butts out here if you want to have a good time with some friendly folks, and check it out.
Okay, thanks for joining us on the show. That's about all the time we got for today. I don't have an exact timer, but it looks like we got just seconds left in the program. Please join us on politicaltwistup.com. Stick with us through the week when we will get through the cannabis news and all of the rest of the stuff that's important to you. Real news on the real radio that you can really use. We'll see you next.
Powered by the Detroit Compassion Club.
We'll see you next time.